Hello, my name is Martine. Welcome to my Ileostomy guide number 4. I'll answer one or two commonly asked questions when it comes to ileostomy. People often ask, how often do you empty the bag? Well, I'll answer that with a question. How often do you go to the bathroom to pass urine? Because that's as often as you'll empty your bag. So it's just takes a couple of minutes extra and that's all. Now, how often do you actually change the bag? I do it every day. Some people get away with 2 days before changing, but no, you need to do it, in my experience, every day to keep the skin nice and clean and fresh. Another question people often ask is, well, can you shower with that? Can you swim with the bag on? Of course you can. In fact, it makes the bag more adherent than ever. And indeed, you don't want to be trying to remove a bag shortly after taking a swim or showering with it on, because it'll be virtually impossible to remove. The glue kind of gets very tacky, extra tacky, and it just won't separate from the skin. So you can do what you like with an ileostomy bag. You can swim, go scuba diving, do anything you want. Does it make a noise? Oh, it can do, especially if your stomach is empty. You know, when you're hungry and your stomach starts making noise, as it does with everyone, it's just that the stoma is right up at the surface of the tummy. So when it gets noisy, it can let you know, but it's not a big deal, and it's never caused me an issue anyway. And most of the time it's completely quiet. The only time might be at a very quiet church where everybody is silent, or at a funeral, and then it starts up, and you can do a little dance or sing a song or something like that to cover it over, do what you want, but it doesn't really cause an issue, I can tell you that. Does it leak? That's a whole art in itself in getting the seal nice and tight so as it won't leak, and I'll deal with that in another episode. But one thing people very often ask, does it smell? No, it should not do, unless maybe you've sprung a leak. Even then you probably won't be able to detect the odour with your nose. You'll feel it rather than smell it. The reason being, the small intestine is in flux all the time. It doesn't have very many bacteria going through it, unlike the colon, which is a fermentation chamber of bacteria. So it doesn't normally have that characteristic smell. The only time you will get that is if you haven't emptied a bag, say overnight, and you empty it first thing in the morning, then yeah, it's no big deal. If you want to use air freshener, do so. But other than that, if your stoma isn't leaking, you shouldn't smell anything. And one kind of characteristic thing is it will smell more of what you've eaten than anything else. It doesn't really have that fecal smell most of the time. For instance, if a person with an ileostomy drinks a whole lot of coffee, what'll happen? An hour or two later, you empty your bag and you will smell coffee. And that's it. It's whatever you've taken. And it looks fecal like any stool, but it doesn't smell the same. So it's not an issue for anyone who has to go for an ileostomy. You don't have to concern yourself with some things that you might have thought were going to be an issue, because they're not. Well, that's it for the moment. Next episode, I will go into the subject of leaks, which kind of deserves a few minutes in itself. You can prevent them most of the time, and you get used to dealing with them, or the beginnings of them. And and it's it's not too much of a big deal, but they happen much more often in the weeks and months after you've had your stoma, or if you change weight or anything like that, or maybe in hot weather. But most of the time I'm just fine. It hasn't stopped me going anywhere, doing anything. It's just something I'm well used to coping with. So we'll see you next time, and bye for now. Thank you for watching.